our side, so we will see everybody here. So this is a shapes tournament, so you're going to see different kind of shapes. We're going to have some fun with that. And immediately, by the way, that's not a sword, that's a carrot.
Already got route divergence. Thirwolf going screen scroll to level 3. Crim heading towards level 1, stopping to try and get a bomb drop from these blue Octorok.
Yeah, and an unfortunate thing here, these blue Octoroks look like they rolled up in HP, so it's going to be 4 hits there to take him out. And Crim going to go ahead and up A just to get a quick reset on his health because he was only one screen away. It's also going to allow him to reset these Octoroks to try and get 2 more chances on the global for a bomb drop on kill 6 right there, and then on kill 8, which will be the last one on the screen.
My luck with bomb drops, none.
No, I hear that. My game 2 for my first round matchup had the same thing. Bombs were hard to come by. Although Thirwolf is going to immediately get some bombs here in level 6, which is at the vanilla level 3 location. Crim going over to the vanilla level 1 location. Thirwolf attempting to set up a Kanana key here, and unfortunately mistimes the key, so it doesn't get it. Crim not getting very lucky. Vanilla level 1's location holds level 9.
He sets an easy location to access. At least it's not Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, the downside about whatever's at Spectacle Rock, though, is you want Spectacle Rock to be something when you go there, you can finish it because of its location. So you're always hoping to find something like a level 1 or a level 2 that you don't have to go back to. So Thirwolf coming across even more bombs and even more key doors here in level 6, so not going to be able to make too much progress unless we can bomb to the right here. Crim is attempting to screen scroll over into the graveyard to get a check on what the Armos item might be, as well as see what the level is going to be over here. So the one thing that we've noticed here is that Wizrobes and Stalfos have both migrated to the overworld here. So that's Wizrobes not in the underworld. Always a blessing to see because those things can be an absolute pain. Of course, based on what I'm seeing, good chance we might see some Lionels in dungeons instead. Trade them out.
Well, we found the ring shop plus the cheap bait shop, and it's a heart container for our Armos item.
Yeah, heart container as an Armos item is one of those where you're not disappointed to see it because now you're guaranteed as soon as you get bombs to be able to get the white sword item. But at the same time, you're a little disappointed because you're hoping it's something like a white sword, a wand, the silver arrows. Heart container is just sort of like, it's here.
Yeah, personally, I'd rather see any tiered red ring there. And that's why.
Yeah, see, that's one of the reasons we have not just Wizrobes, but any enemy that has projectiles on the overworld is going to be a pain because you've got Wizrobes, Lionels, Gorillas, all which can fire those projectiles, even Moblins to a point, making climbing up those stairs, so both the level 2 screen below level 2 and the screen below level 6 both can be absolutely dangerous with enemies like that.
And the Forgotten Spots shop shows us key prices are 95 rupees. Hopefully we don't need to use that. I mean, I have seen a race where that's been necessary recently, but you never know. This seed could be very key demanding and key starved at the same time.
Yeah, like recently what I've ended up seeing is it's been less about the keys and more about the game just not wanting to drop bombs. There have been, like I said, my race the other day was just all about no bombs, no bombs, no bombs. It took me like 20 minutes to get a bomb drop. It was ridiculous. So Crim going to be setting up for the same Kanana key trick that we saw Thirwolf do earlier. Basically, you kill the last enemy in the room. When the door goes to open the shutter door, it removes the spot on the key door where you can get in, and you can just walk in through the door. The thing is, you do have to walk out back through the key door to get it to unlock. So if you just go through and don't walk back through, you'll have to do it again next time.
Coming up on Thirwolf's side, we're about to see what's at Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, the best case scenario for Thirwolf here is either 1, 2, or 3. 5 isn't the worst because 5 tends to be a little bit on the larger side and tends to drop a little bit more keys than some of the other dungeons. So 5 isn't the worst. Something like a 7 or an 8 here would have been very bad.
Speaking of bad, those bomb prices, though, I mean, the candle price is reasonable, but those bomb prices? Gross.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the way that bombs have been stingy in the seeds recently. Also, Crim going to go ahead and pick up his first medium secret. He now knows where that candle is, so he's probably going to be making his way over towards this heart container on the coast. That I wouldn't surprise me if he was sweeping his way right back up to the level 2 location. Also, that first room in 5 that Thirwolf was in, that room was doing him no favors. That was just absolutely awful, though. We have one of the, I love and hate it when ropes get higher HP. I love it when you have an item like the red candle where you just drop it in and they just keep running into it over and over again. It's kind of hilarious. But when you don't have that, the rope with the more HP, they're just an absolute pain.
Yeah. Doesn't do Thirwolf any favors that there are bubbles in this room, because those will take away your sword for a few seconds. And with only one bomb left, that means sword is really the only option he has.
Also, we've got a HUD clipping chocobo over on the right hand side, and I actually like what Crim did there. He used it to avoid the wizrobes on that screen and to get over there without having to deal with potentially wizrobes in some of the narrower paths here in the woods. So I very much like that play from Crim. I personally can't do it. I've gotten to the HUD once. It was completely on accident. Thirwolf over here has come across a bit of a ladder block.
Level 7's at First Quest 2. That's one of the larger dungeons for sure. Oh, hi, Gleeok.
Yeah, thankfully it's only a 2-headed Gleeok, so it's not super bad. So this is actually, you actually are more equipped in this Gleeok fight than you would be in the 2-headed fight in the vanilla speedrun, because you only have 4 hearts at that point. So killing a 2-headed Gleeok with a wood sword, pretty commonplace to anyone who's run the vanilla game. It's when you start getting to the more heads that become a bit of a pain, and that was a wonderful dodge of that final fireball there for Crim.
I guess if that fireball had sniped him, that Gleeok would have been right back.
Yeah, there is nothing worse than getting from the grave with the last shot from either a Manhandla or a Gleeok. It's the absolute worst feeling. A good feeling, though, is getting a clock in a room full of fireballs like Thirwolf just did.
Didn't see what took him down, but Crim took a death. Back to start for him.
I mean, I didn't either, but I'm going to guess it was an enemy of some sort. So the interesting thing about the beginning of this this match so far, as Thirwolf picks up his first Triforce up in 5, is we found nothing but big chunky dungeons so far. We found 5, 6, 7, and 9. So all of the quote-unquote good dungeons, all the fun dungeons, the one you want to find early, the one with the smaller with easier access, are all in hard-to-get-to places. They're going to be up in the Lost Hills, Raft spot, Recorder spot, they need a candle, and there's that one that you're going to have to get to, buy all those horrible wizrobes down by Vanilla 6. This is already turning out to be a much more difficult seed than the one these two played the other day.
It's reminding me of one of the 2 seeds I played against Random Effect. As Crim gets grabbed by the Wall Master, that is an automatic trip back to start.
And how appropriate that it's in level 7, because I know when running the vanilla game, I have lost many a run to the reverse C staircase room with the Wall Masters in the vanilla 7. So it's always apropos, if you're going to get Wall Master, to do it in 7.
And I'm seeing the puns in chat. Keep them coming, folks.
But wait, you want them to encourage me to make puns?
It'd be nothing I'm not used to.
I know, but I feel the need to ask that question. But Crim is going to go ahead and continue making his way through this level 7, as Thirwolf going to have to get a little fancy with his maneuvering to try and get up to where this level here is by Vanilla 6. So far, so good, and does manage to maneuver around it. That was some fancy maneuvering there by Thirwolf, although is greeted by a very angry red Wizrobe as well, so that's not fun.
That is a nasty level 1 entrance if I ever saw one. He's gonna pirouette one of the doors.
Yeah, so for those who might not be aware, the pirouette trick is basically what happens is that the underworld and the overworld are sort of on the same plane. They're just like different levels. So if you exit and re-enter, and you're going in the same direction, the game will think that you exited from or re-entered from the key door. So it's just going to consider it as you unlocked it. It's a trick that you see in the vanilla speedrun for the vanilla level 1, and it works just as well here in Randomizer.
Now we got ourselves a potential case to find that bomb hole as through this door that Thirwolf's in, danger noodles.
Yeah, the thing here with Thirwolf is is all of the dungeons are going to have to at some point touch the bottom row, as Crim's going to find the bow up at the White Sword Cave. That's fantastic, because eventually you're going to need arrows anyway. If he comes across it, gets himself a large secret, he can purchase arrows and have another source of weapons. As I was saying, though, for Thirwolf is where he came into this level 1, it has to eventually touch the bottom, so bombing down is never a bad idea, especially if you haven't touched the bottom, or you can just get the map and know exactly where to bomb. You can do that too.
That looks like a broken heart. Also named that ink blot, and we've got a one-off.
Yes, a fun little one-segmented one there, and Crim has found level 3 up at the Vanilla 5 spot. Both of these are very good dungeons to come across here, especially in the, I don't want to say early-ish going still, because they're fairly small, and both of them are segmented.
That's the only time you'll see that staircase. Oh, hey, a blue Goma. Thirwolf's gonna be wanting the bow and arrows for that. And down goes Crim.
Can I help you? Yeah, that was not a fun room there, having to deal with the Pole's voice that Crim was having to deal with. So they did not do nice things. He did just pick up the bow, which makes it easier to kill. Unfortunately, no arrows, so no easy buddy.
Yeah, this isn't future Zelda games where arrows are drop items. No, you have to buy them.
Yeah, well, they technically, once you bought the access to them, they're drop items. Anytime a rupee drops, you get an arrow.
Touche, as we've got ourselves a Triforce, but Thirwolf's not picking it up just yet. He's going for the old Ricksing.
I mean, especially when you're in a small level like this, level 1, hey, that's the reason you don't do it. We have ourselves a ladder.
That is exactly why you do that, Greenleaf, for that moment alone. A heart container, so that'll be helpful, for sure.
And Crim has found himself another staircase. This room is going to have to be a little careful in. Not that it's not easy to kill the Lionels when they're down there, but that Pole's voice in this room is going to be a little dangerous. So he's going to have to be very careful when walking around these narrow passageways. Thirwolf's still looking for one final item here in level 1. Again, these smaller dungeons definitely a boon so far here. That ladder is going to be huge, so most of the blocks that Thirwolf is going to come across here, he's not going to need to deal with anymore, as Crim has made his way into the staircase and found, wow, well, no need to purchase arrows, level 3 in the Lost Hills, having all the goodies.
Oh, absolutely, and while they have all the goodies, there's goodies to be had in level 1 as well.
Oh, absolutely. The Wizrobe told Thirwolf to put back in there.
That's happened to everybody who's played this game at any level. Vanilla, rando, casual, speedrun, doesn't matter. That's happened to us at least once.
Oh, and it's the funniest thing when it happens, especially when it's like random things, like a lever popping up is great, but the Wizrobe there was also absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that Wizrobe was basically this game's equivalent of an RKO out of nowhere. Bang!
Gosh. But here's the question I want to ask. Like, Crim's playing as a Chocobo. Can someone please explain to me how a Chocobo fires a bow and arrow? Okay, no one can.
That is some interesting logic there, I will have to admit.
Yeah, but so far, 2 of our 3 overworld items haven't been too impressive. 2 hearts, both on the coast and the Armos item. But the white sword item, being the bow, kind of makes up for it. And there is the second item in 3. Crim absolutely not going to pick it up. One, mostly because he knows I'm talking about this race. So let's be 100% off. This is the same man who broke out an entirely new sprite that was literally just the wooden boomerang with the nope symbol crossed through it and played an entire seed as the nope banana.
I remember that one quite well, and I also remember him grabbing a certain other less superior boomerang in your house one time. That must have been an interesting conversation afterwards.
It wasn't even an interesting conversation. So as we have Thirwolf here in level 7, and Crim is going up to where level 5 is here at level 9. The story in question is basically Crim was up here for a weekend. He had a tournament race, and I wasn't planning on doing any commentary because, he was here. I was going to plan on sitting in the room and giving crap. Well, we were running short on commentary, so I'm like, fine, I'll grab my laptop, because he was streaming through my desktop computer, go out into the living room, and do commentary. Well, I'm on commentary, and he's your shit, he's got headphones on, but he starts to he goes and picks up the blue boomerang, and I'm yelling so I know he can hear me through the walls. I know you're doing this in my house, and there's like 5 minutes of me just yelling through my walls at him so he can hear me through his noise canceling headphones.
Ooh, that Gleeok gets the best of Thirwolf.
Yeah, even when you have a bunch of hearts, trying to clear a Gleeok with green tunic and wood sword is never a fun thing. So I give credit to anyone who can run low percent who is able to do that when they're killing the 4-headed Gleeok with 3 hearts. Kudos to any of them.
Yeah, as you've seen me try to take on Gleeoks with wooden sword, it is not a fun time.
No, it absolutely is not. Crim here is continuing his way through level 5. We saw Thirwolf in here earlier, just pick up the Triforce. We didn't find any of the item drops in here. There was a big, chunky ladder block that we had to deal with. Crim putting those silver arrows to good use, just mowing down these Lionels. We've got more, this time we've got Pancakes being killed. Wait, so a Pancake is being stabbed and defeated with a carrot. So is this just goes to prove that healthy eating is the way to go?
That's the case, then why aren't pancakes made with healthy ingredients?
I mean, I didn't make the recipe. I mean, I'm sure you can definitely make them with healthier ingredients, but there's still that whole matter of the syrup.
As long as that syrup doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, I think you're good. Oh, hi, Patra.
Yeah, so in addition to having to deal with the Gleeok here in level 7, Thirwolf has come across a Patra, which also is never a fun thing to deal with. This is that room that we saw giving Thirwolf the business earlier. Going to be a little bit easier for Crim because of those silver arrows.
It's also worth noting that the mini Patras can roll high or low on the HP shuffle. While the boss won't roll, because that option wasn't selected, the orbiting mini Patras certainly can roll up or down.
Yeah, it's an interesting note because the mini Patras there and the little mini Dig Doggers that Dig Dogger splits into, those are both considered regular enemies, so they will be factored into the regular monster HP shuffle, which is weird, but
Name that ink blot, folks. Honestly, it kind of looks like a chocobo.
I can see a
As
little bit of the
Thirwolf-
chocobo head there, yeah.
As Thirwolf finds a mugger room.
But yeah, seeing that level 7 map is very interesting because of the way that the maps are taken care of in the game here. Is Thirwolf is going to come across a staircase with through the Gliok heads. That map is interesting to me because of the fact that level 8 has to fit around it in that somewhere. So that tells me almost assuredly we're probably going to have a segment today. So Krim, unfortunately, not finding himself a staircase there in that room in level 5, which could have very easily potentially been one, does find a compass, which, as usual in this game, is after the Triforce, so nothing going there. And then Krim seems to be ladder walking the rest of the dungeon, is moving on out to somewhere other than level 5. If the routing I would suspect is going to happen here is he's going to make his way down back towards Vanilla 6, which we know is level 1, and hopefully get in through the massive party of Wizrobes that is guarding the entrance.
And it's better to try and avoid them, because trying to fight those things, that takes even longer.
Good show for Thirwolf. They're ending up getting the compass in that room full of decidedly evil dark nuts. But this is a staircase room, so that's always nice. The compass there was not necessarily what he wanted to see from the dark nuts, but you're never disappointed to find a compass, especially in these larger dungeons.
Especially with that compass being in the lower, leading you right to the lower half of the dungeon, as we've got the raft in level 7.
That is a huge, huge, huge find for Thirwolf, because there's a decent chance Krim doesn't end up back at 7 for a while, and even just based on the way he's going, it looks like he's going back to either 6, which is at 3, or the Vanilla 6 location, which is level 1. So having that raft is going to be huge, huge for Thirwolf.
Because at this point, based off what we've seen so far, that could be either 2 or 4 at the raft spot. We haven't seen 8 yet either, so that's possible, and the bomb upgrades rolled high. But we're not going to know how many bombs are dropped until we actually buy one. It could be anything between 2 and 6, and we're hoping for 6.
Well, you're hoping for 6. I'm hoping for 2, because I'm a horrible person. So Krim actually did pick up the candle there, which I like that play. Oh, that's interesting. So bait is not explicitly required, but if Thirwolf wants to go and check out those last 5 rooms in 7, which statistically are going to probably hold the item here, he's gonna have to go through the bait block and won't be able to come back.
Yeah, in terms of bait block locations, that one is pretty nasty. Even for one that's not explicitly required.
Yeah, no, because you spent most of the time digging through the rest of this level, so you just want to get it over with. You want to get it done, and the fact that you haven't been able to because of that is very painful. And Krim is able to get up in here to level 1, and does kill the wizard. Gets a heart, not the bomb he was probably looking for, but level 1 he's going to be super happy to see, especially when he gets that last.
And to make this even more interesting, Thirwolf only has 1 key, and there's 2 locked doors. So that's basically a decision time for Thirwolf. Unfortunately, taking a death in a blue dark nut room.
Also, Krim being very awesome there with that with that Landmola kill. I can't even speak anymore with the Landmola kill. And there is the map. We already saw this map for level 1. Crim going to go ahead and check up here really quickly just to make sure he doesn't miss anything. We know that it's 2 hearts and 2 hearts and a ladder here in level 1. Ladder, of course, being the most important part of that.
Well, keys also help.
Yeah, keys definitely help, although Crim might have definitely made a little bit of a tactical error there by picking up the map and up-Aing. He now has to go ahead and kill these Landmolas again, although that is a fantastic bomb placement, helped by the Landmolas, getting a little curious as to what the taste of Chocobo is. And, no, there's another one, so Crim, just exit the room and kill them. Don't worry about it. Just exit the room, bro. Or do it that way,
I guess that works, too.
So back over on our left-hand side here, this Triforce room in level 7 is absolutely doing Thirwolf no favors because he has been succumbed to a couple of the fireballs there, but finally is able to go about and do it and pick up his Triforce in level 7. Crim going to be able to kill this Goma. Unfortunately, not going to be the big advantage you would hope it would be because there's nothing of relevance behind it.
Runs out of rupees, your resource to fire the bow, so that Goma gets to live. For now.
I mean, the Goma did nothing wrong. It's just hanging out here in level 1, minding its own business.
Except that Goma didn't see the no loitering sign.
To be fair, I didn't either. Oh, that's awful. Crim trying to use a bomb to get the drop off the fire. Unfortunately, it rolled above 4 HP, so not going to be able to do that. Thirwolf over here picking up his bow as well, and he's going to be very happy to find these silver arrows up in level 3 when he goes there next. All right, so continuing on here, Crim did use his last arrow very efficiently, saved 1 rupee, and was rewarded by being able to use it to kill a Pole's voice. Unfortunately, didn't get any rupees from them, but he still was able to pick up said rupee, so it was easier for him to kill them. Now he is able to go in and has to bomb up from here because the corridor staircase will not allow him to get in here for any other reason, and this is not a fun room to deal with, mostly because of the bubbles.
Bubbles are never a fun time, as CrimsonAvix gets bopped by the bunny.
Yeah, Thirwolf over here in this spiral staircase room will be very, very happy with what he's going to come across. Unfortunately, there was a bomb drop here in this room. Thirwolf just couldn't get to it, so he's still going to have to deal with being at the 1 bomb spot right now, as opposed to picking that up and being back in 5. Crim going to go ahead and find out that this is going to take him over to that random one-off little tiny section of level 1. And is rewarded with just more bun-buns.
Speaking of rewards, Thirwolf gets rewarded with silver arrows. That just means the 64,000 rupee question is, where is the recorder?
I'm going to go with nowhere they've been yet. I mean, let's be honest, it's going to be buried deep in that 6.
Because that's definitely something this randomizer would do. Seen it bury stuff that's important deep in 6 before, so it can definitely happen.
Yeah, unfortunately for Crim, those 3 bunnies did not get him any sort of 4-drop. Did, however, get him some rupees, so he does have more ammunition. He's going back for round 3 versus the Goma. Eventually, he will win this fight, and he will have himself some delicious juicy crab legs. But until then, Thirwolf's going to go ahead and get himself a wonderful shiny Dorito over there in level 3. That's going to be his 4th Triforce. So continuing on, now that Crim has access to a couple of rupees, making killing those Poles boys here in these other couple of rooms much easier. He's going to have a very easy time up here as well in this room with the Keys and the Poles boys. Thirwolf going to go ahead and put that raft to use cash in and find level 4 at its vanilla location, just happily sitting there minding its own business, and is immediately rewarded with a compass.
That's always nice to find quick. So now you know where to go for the Triforce. Problem is, you don't know the path because you don't have a map.
And as we see, we see sort of a pseudo high five as both of our runners make it to a Triforce in a Triforce room, with both standing up there just from different levels. Crim's going to go ahead and pick up his ladder and then immediately be rewarded in the next room by having this be the heart container.
Speaking of heart containers, Thirwolf just got one himself, and he goes right back for level 4's Triforce.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see if Thirwolf has to go back for the second item here in 4. If he's just going to say nope, and he is thinking about it and says, I want to try and kill these for some bombs, and nope, he's going to leave level 4 for right now. It's a pretty easy place to get back to, especially considering it's going to be the closest place to get you on your path to level 9, and there's Crim picking up the 3rd and final heart container out of level 1. So all he's going to have to do at this point is go pick up the Triforce, and he will be on his way.
Looks like Thirwolf's going for a candle.
Both of our runners now with access to that candle, which means the level 8 spot is going to be accessible to both of them. The question now remains, is it going to be level 2 or level 8?
So Thirwolf chooses to go back to level 6.
I mean, considering where he was, this isn't the worst play in the world. I actually very much like this, because if it turns out we're correct and the recorder is in here, he can immediately cash it in, considering where he is. Crim attempting to set himself up for the world wrap. Now, you'll notice what he's doing is he's spinning around, and he's attempting to swing his carrot sword. And basically, the reason behind that is if you have turned around and you can swing your sword, you are not on the correct pixel, and you will end up going back into the Lost Woods, as opposed to wrapping around to the ladder screen. Thirwolf has found himself yet another compass here early in a dungeon, as well as the staircase to maneuver his way through the rest of 6.
And he also found and shot dead a blue Goma.
And level 8 is at its vanilla location, which means the recorder is at level 2. Now, that's both good and bad. I mean, the level 2 is the recorder spot. That's both good and bad. Now, the reason I say that is because when the recorder is your go mode item, like, it's probably going to... Wow! First of all, I stand corrected. I thought this level 8 was going to be segmented. It is not. Which, that's impressive considering what we saw with that level 7. Now, as I was saying, with the recorder being your go mode item, it's a good thing because you know for a fact all you have to worry about at the recorder dungeon is getting the Triforce out of it, which is great. You usually want that to be a bigger dungeon, though. You really don't want that to be like a level 2 because those are easier to go through.
And we got Crim picking up the white sword in level 8. That's an offensive upgrade that'll be very helpful as Thirwolf gets the Triforce out of level 6. And unfortunately for Crim, finds a room with a Dodongo in it, no bombs to deal with it.
Yeah, that's the most disappointing thing when it comes to not having bombs. Is Thirwolf is going to have plenty of at least money for silver arrows. As he's going to pick up 100 secret, and that's in a very much above average 100 secret. So you're always very happy to see that. They're also going to be able to pick up something here at this heart container cave. Could pick up potion, could pick up the heart container, and is going to pick up the potion. I very much like this call. I am a huge fan of hey, I need a potion, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Not go all out of my way to the northeast to pick up the letter to purchase one.
It's a good routing choice. Unfortunately for Crim, he wound up locked into a room with a dig dogger, so had to up an A out of the room.
So the unfortunate thing about the Wizrobes there is you saw they sort of had that we're marching in order spawn, which is, not the worst thing to deal with, but it also does suck because you're going to have to constantly be dodging them. Crim was able to pick up a bomb drop here as both of our runners are now in level 8 at the exact same time. Crim is going to have just a smidgen of an advantage because he's done a little bit more exploring and has the map, but as we know, the map is super early on here. Thirwolf going to pick it up pretty easily for himself as well.
Well, at least Blue Darknut's in a Chevy room. You can just stay on the ladder and keep swinging away as Thirwolf picks up his white sword.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing Darknuts in any sort of room where I can put the ladder to use because exactly as you said, they can't swim because, they're kind of in big, bulky, heavy armor. So it's like, hey, guess what? You can't get me. Neener, neener, neener.
Just don't stand too far out or else they'll get you with a clothesline.
So anyway, we have got both of our runners here continuing in a Crim trying to bomb his way around and can't. Thirwolf going to be able to go ahead and take out this Dodongo that we saw Crim have a little bit of issues with earlier simply because, well, bombs, which seems to be the most common issue we've been talking about recently. And hey, there's some skull motion.
Yep, we found Ganon's room, but no pig. Must be a vacation home.
I mean, depending on the location, yeah. I mean, it's a nice, secluded, wooded area. Probably a great log cabin. Just sounds of nature around, nothing to do. That's not a bad vacation home. As Thero does go ahead and find the Triforce here in level 8. Crim only a couple of rooms away. If he can bomb right from the room he's in, he will go ahead and find himself a Triforce. Although here's the catch: he's only got one bomb. And
that was forced to 10 on of that Moldorm.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the Moldorms is the fact that they have 10 segments between the two snakes. So if you know you've been hit, you can just go in. As long as you don't get hit by anything else, boom, 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 you're done. You can force that bomb off the final segment of the Moldorm.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, that's not a fun room. Although it's going to be very easy for Crim. All he has to do is once he gets rid of this one Darknut in the vertical shoot area, he's got Sword Beam. So as long as he doesn't take a hit to this Darknut, the rest of this room is going to be pretty much smooth sailing here because all he has to do is exactly what he's doing. Stand here, fire Sword Beams, get the Darknuts, and he'll be good. It's going to take a little while, but it's nice and it's safe. And there's the second item out of 7 for Thirwolf. It's the Power Bracelet.
He's gonna go ahead and pick that up, which gives him access to any roads. It's about all it does when you don't shuffle the cave.
It is going to make getting up to certain locations much, much easier. Especially if he has to get back to the grave if he wants to get that. Unfortunately, the places he would be getting back to are places he's already gotten everything out of. Getting everything out of level 3, already getting everything out of level 1. So now the question becomes for Thirwolf, where is the recorder? He's going back into 4 right now to check that out, and I definitely like this call because of the dungeons you have left to look through, the rest of 8, the rest of 6, and 4, 4 is by far the smallest. Crim goes ahead and picks up another heart container, which is going to allow him to have a 20% chance of picking up the magic sword. Bad news for Crim now, though, is if he wants to find the final item here in level 8, it's unfortunately going to be a floor item, so he has to go through and kill a whole bunch more. Also, that's a very interesting level 4 map there for Thirwolf. Good thing about finding the map, though, is, again, you know where to bomb, and that's a huge thing in Shapes, is resource management. So being able to know where to bomb to try and have that chance for the walls to go through is always a huge, huge thing.
I'm going to go ahead and call that Meta Ridley Phase 2 from the first Metroid Prime game.
Fair enough. We do have some bunnies being killed by some arrows here. And unfortunately for Thirwolf, that was not the staircase he was looking for. That was not a staircase at all. Crim continuing his bold trek through Area 8. You'll see what he comes up with there. Does get a lovely little force bomb off of that. Hey! That's the recorder!
Oh, wow. Who picked it up? Was it Thirwolf? Or no, it was Crim. So now we're in no mode.
Yeah, we know what's going on here. The bad part for Crim is Raft is buried in 7. The good part for Crim, he doesn't yet have the Triforce out of 7, as those Lionels there in level 4 absolutely giving Thirwolf all kinds of the business.
It's not a Zelda 1 rando seed without a Lionel death, basically.
So Thirwolf going to continue on. At this point, as I said, we know where everything is. So the best, quote-unquote, best thing Thirwolf can find here in level 4 is objectively the any key. I say that because Thirwolf is a fantastic player, and the red ring will definitely help, but the any key would be the thing he probably wants to find most, as Crim finds the compass, which is a huge find for him. I say that because Thirwolf is sitting on 1 key right now, and he is going to come across whatever he's looking for here in 4 in this staircase, and it is, well, the aforementioned red ring.
That'll help on the combat side of things. Exploration side, not so much, but if you're like me and you take a lot of deaths, any advantage you can get in combat is a plus.
Yeah, so Thirwolf having to make the choice here of which direction he wanted to go, whether he wanted to go check out 6 or go check out 8. So he's going to go ahead and use the any roads here, and we'll see where he decides to go. And it looks like he's going up to the grave, so it looks like he's going back to 5, actually, with that pick.
Crim's trying to get to the Triforce via bomb wall, but having no luck so far.
You know, we know through Ther he can just go up, right, down, and be fine. But right now, Thirwolf going to level 5 is a very, very good thing for Crim. Because the longer that Thirwolf takes to try and dig out this recorder out of 8, the more Crim is going to have a chance to catch back up here. And Crim doing an immediate about face of, oh wait, there's a key in that room. I want that.
Yeah, all the keys can really be helpful as Crim with the Triforce out of 8 is off to, well, hopefully smaller dungeons.
Well, at this point, considering where he's at, yeah, he's probably going to go exactly that, make his way right back over to level 7. And this is actually a fantastic play. Crim doesn't know it yet, but this is going to net him the wrap, which is going to put him in Triforce and Go mode. and he's going to sit here and dig through 7 because he still has that raft to look for. So this is a wonderful, wonderful play. Just so happens to be the dungeon that was right next to level 8, but even so, this is a brilliant play here.
Crim's got to be careful here. Only 2 hearts, so commentator's curse, I'll own that one.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the commentator's curse. Crim has a definite thing where he feels that all of the enemies here in Zelda, Zelda 1, are very squishy and cute and cuddly, and that they need to be hugged at many times as possible. So that's not on you. That's just Crim's propensity of hugging everything.
Probably not a good idea to hug a Patra, because that's like trying to hug a cactus. It doesn't end well.
I mean, you're just going to know where to hug the cactus.
Something tells me I don't want to know that one, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Where the thorns aren't.
Touche. I walked right into that one, admittedly.
Yes, you did.
But hey, who hasn't?
So Crim with a Money Your Life from opts to not worry about either one of those because he can just up A and make his way back. So that's, Alright, continuing to dig through this level 5 over on Thirwolf's side, he does, in fact, come across a heart container and another one of those aforementioned patches we were talking about. So, good news, more defense. Bad news, more Patra. Worst news, Thirwolf broken.
That he did because he hit the Patra on the wrong time, and now it's going expando ad infinitum. Or until it's dead.
Yeah. So basically, the way that works is that there is one specific one of those little Patrites that controls everything. And if you kill it, you will lock the Patra in whatever pattern it was in. It's very nice when you lock it in the I'm nice and closed and not doing anything pattern. It's horrible when you lock it in that expanding phase. Crim here is in the room that does contain the power bracelet, but I definitely agree with him. No need to kill this Gleok right now, and especially when he comes across the staircase item that is going to be the raft, he's going to be super happy.
Which also means he will not be getting that power bracelet at all.
Yeah, Power Bracelet is an interesting item in these 5. As you mentioned, the caves aren't shuffled, so they only unlock before any roads, as those Dark Nuts decided they also would like to figure out what exactly Chocobo tastes. So, again, it just makes for the travel better, which you saw Thirwolf put to good use here to get back to level 5. Also, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast here, we've got multiple races coming at you today here on the Speed Gaming, not just Speed Gaming Family Networks, but right here on Speed Gaming. So immediately following us, we're going to have Game 3 of Alsoa 999 versus Sish Crusher, so stay here for that. Then following that, we're going to have Game 2 of JSR versus Magic Friends. And finally, to end out the night, we're going to have another Game 3. It's going to be Adirondack Rick versus Boletta. So we've got a bunch of games here on the docket. All 4 of the games you are seeing here tonight on Speed Gaming are potential elimination games.
And speaking of elimination, Crim can eliminate looking for anything else as he has the raft. We got go mode for CrimsonAvix.
Yeah, and the better thing here for Crim is the fact that Thirwolf is going back to level 6 to look for that recorder. So this is going to give Crim a chance to catch up. He's got the compass here in 7. 4 is a super easy Triforce for him to get. He's going to walk in and get it within like 3 rooms. So yeah, Crim has a huge chance of being able to catch up here. I don't blame Thirwolf for checking 6 as opposed to checking 8 here, because that 8 was stupid huge. But this is the chance Crim's going to need to get back in this game and force a Game 3. So Crim going to go ahead, pick up that Triforce. Had a much easier time in that room than Thirwolf did. And we've got ourselves a map in level 6. And that's just nap.
Yeah, and Shapes level 6 tends to be one of the nastier dungeons, as it can have a lot of rooms, and this 6 is no exception.
Yeah, no, and the reason for that being is because the way not just the Shapes algorithm works, but the way the game works in general, is if you take a look at the maps for the original games, as Thirwolf has come across the red candle here in level 6 as the floor item. As I said, the way the original game works is levels 1 through 6 are on their own 8x16 grid, and levels 7, 8, and 9 are on their own 8x16 grid. Yes, all the dungeons will fit together like a puzzle if you let them. So levels 1 through 6 have to work on that grid, and usually level 6 just ends up taking the most because just the way that it works. Levels 1, 2, 3, they just be like, oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna sit up here in this little corner. I'm gonna sit in this little corner. Level 6 is like, I'm gonna take everything because I want to.
It is worth noting that of 7 through 9, 7 and 8 have their own 8x8, and would you look at this? The staircase item in 6 is the any key.
Yeah, the fact that Thirwolf found that item so quickly is definitely a detriment to Crim's chances to catching up here, because not only does Thirwolf now know he has to dig level 8, but also his resource management is pretty much out the window. He has to worry about bombs and not keys. Bombs are a resource you can manipulate yourself through the 10 counts. Keys, you can't. Keys, you have to count on the game itself. So finding that item in 6 fairly quickly, the worst possible outcome here for Crim and his comeback attempts. Not saying it still can't happen, because level 9 can just do level 9 things and be an absolute jerk. And also, finding it in the bottom corners of level 8, also a thing that can be a jerk. But Crim going to go ahead, find his way here, discover this is not the staircase he wants, but get his Triforce.
He's got the right room, but the wrong set of stairs.
Yeah, now, the good thing for Crim is the way he's routed this, is he's going to go right from here over to Recorder Lake, which is level 2. Then he's going to go from there to the raft spot, and because level 9 is at vanilla level 1, he can just route them in, just basically in a straight line, and pick up a potion on the heart cave, on the heart choice on Canada Row as he walks his way by. So that is fantastic. Although Thirwolf definitely making his way through things over in level 8. He is on the path to get to the recorder eventually, because it was down here in this section of the map.
And now we're getting our first look at level 2, which, well, the only items you'll get here are floor drop items. The only time we see stairs is if it's segmented.
Yeah, and because there are 4 drop items and Crim is still looking for his Triforce here, he is going to be killing rooms, so there is a chance he might end up with items here. Unfortunately for him, the best thing that he can come across here is going to be the wand. While not the worst thing he could come across, he's definitely hoping to get himself a red ring, but that compass is huge. There's the Triforce in 2, so both of our runners now only need to get 1 Triforce. Crim is actually going to have the decided advantage now, as he's going to get the Triforce in 2. We know the Triforce in level 4 is super, super early, so Crim actually, after being behind for a good portion of this race, is going to actually have the lead going into level 9.
The lead, yes. Resource advantage, no. He does not have the any key, and he's still on green.
Yeah, so this left to right screen scroll that you see Crim trying to do, it's definitely a little bit on the harder side. I have a difficult time doing them. You can always sit there and practice them, but there's very few times you're ever going to need to use it. That was one of the few times there. And Crim going to make his way into level 4, where again, he's going to find a pretty early, super early, easy Triforce, because there is the compass. The big thing we're going to have to look at for Crim, he's going to be going to level 9 with 1 key. Which, honestly, as was just mentioned in chat, the fact that Crim only has 1 key could be a blessing, because when you go into level 9 with 1 key, you tend to focus more on bomb walls and open paths than you do on taking key doors. So that lack of resources could put Crim on a better path than Thirwolf would take, where he's much more willing to take key doors as opposed to bomb. But yeah, Crim going to go ahead and stop by here. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he's going to pick up the potion. We already saw Thirwolf do that, and yet Crim going to do the same here. I like this call. Both of these runners are extremely skilled. They can absolutely 100% do Green Tunic, White Sword Ganon with a potion. Not a problem.
But with that, it's time for level 9, so what are we after in this massive dungeon?
Well, what we are after here, as Thirwolf has found a heart container in level 8, not what he wants to do, we are going to be dealing with a couple of things here. First things first, we're going to be listening for Ganon, because Ganon's a loud little piggy and wants everyone to know where he is at all times, because he doesn't like to be disturbed by his minions. We are also going to be looking for a shutter door that does not open when we kill all the enemies in the room. Like this shutter door could be it, for example, because that's where Zelda's going to be.
Well, that was easy in terms of finding Zelda. Now it's just a matter of finding Ganon.
Yep, I mean, sometimes I like it. You said Commentator's Curse earlier. I'll take that one, because I love it when it works like that. Hey, this is an example. But Crim is going to have to be very careful here again with the key management here, though it looks like he may have himself a staircase, which is going to be a good thing, because you know he's going to be milking that key for as long as he possibly can.
Here's stairs.
Yeah, Thirwolf over here in level 8 is going to be still digging for that recorder, so we'll have to see what where that's going to leave him and how long it's going to take him here. The good news for him is the Triforce in level 2 is super easy to get to. Bad news for him is, well, he's still looking for them.
One thing worth noting as Crim takes care of a blue Goma, that bosses can mask Ganon's roar.
I'm going to have to be very careful here is, well, that. So again, at this point, Crim with the 2 keys and 7 bombs, he's probably going to see if he can use bombs to maneuver his way around here, as opposed to going back through where he was. Unfortunately, not going to be able to here. Maybe get a bomb down here, yep. It looks like we are going to have to go the way we went, and there finally is the recorder for Thirwolf. So real quick, we're going to switch audio so we can hear that, and then we'll go back to level 9.
We got a bomb hole for Crim. Leads to another set of stairs. Blue Lionels.
Yeah, but I do apologize, even though we are listening for Ganon on Crim's side, I know that everybody wants to hear the recorder, as Crim is going to go ahead and use his potion. So we are going to give that recorder here real quick on Thirwolf's side so we can hear it, and then immediately go back to the level 9 off.
Chat, name that tune.
Alright, so we are now back listening for Ganon here on CrimsonAvix.
I hear him.
Yep. Wow. Wow, indeed. We come back to Ganon. Crim has got himself a Ganon fight. He has got a potion. He's got a couple of Hyrule drivers he's going to have to take deal with here. And there's a couple of Hyrule drivers. Crim, that wasn't what I meant when I said you have a couple of Hyrule drivers in your pocket. I didn't mean die like...
Yeah, he only had 2 that he could take. Unfortunately, took 3. But now he knows the route, but he's going to have to hurry, because here comes Thirwolf into level 9, as he's got the Triforce out of level 2. Clock is ticking.
The good news for Crim is he knows the path. He knows where Ganon is. He knows where Zelda is. He just has to make sure he doesn't walk in and get drivered. This is a fairly quick night, and I like what he's doing here. He's taking a quick chance to try and kill these Lionels to try and get a heart container. Does not get it, but I like that play.
As do I. Saves the potion for another time, potentially. Speaking of time, a clock.
Okay, so Crim is going to be making his way over to where Ganon is, which we know is right here. And Thirwolf has also made his way into level 9.
Thirwolf found the bomb hole.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting here. So the interesting thing about this is going to be, oh, Crim, don't do that, buddy. There you go, good call. Crim, using the potion here. I like that call here. Crim, does he have a stun lock? Nope, got 4. There's 5, 6.
Got
Crim
him.
with a stun lock. That's beautiful. As Thirwolf is going to come across Ganon here in just a minute, but it's going to be too little too late as Crim knows exactly where Zelda's going to be. He's going to come across Zelda here in just a minute.
Thirwolf starts the Ganon fight, but unfortunately for Game 2, just not enough time to hang on and win this as CrimsonAvix comes from behind to force Game 3 with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 32 seconds. Get your GGs in chat, everybody, as Thirwolf takes Ganon down.
And for the record, those are Geishel greens that he just rescued, by the way. The entire reason that Chocobo went on this mission is because the Chocobo was hungry and wanted the Geishel green. But that's going to mean we got ourselves a Game 3, everybody. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to hear from Crim right now, as he's got some things going on where he has to leave and go take care of a couple things on the family side of matters. So we are not going to be able to get an interview right now, but I can pretty much guarantee his response is going to be, wow, what the heck happened? Why are we going to a Game 3? Because that's pretty much Crim in a nutshell there.
Yeah. Thirwolf wound up finding Ganon first and is showing us more of this 9. We've seen, hey, there's Zelda's room in 9.
Yeah, so the thing with for Thirwolf here, as we saw from Crim, Zelda is super, super close to start. So by Thirwolf just going north and immediately finding the bomb hole, he didn't come across the information of where Zelda was located. He will get himself down there. The best thing that could happen to him, honestly, is taking an errant death here, which will bring him back to the start. It's weird saying that taking a death is the best thing to happen in a situation, but that's definitely where Thirwolf is at right now.
We've definitely seen that be the case before in Zelda 1 Rando. I think there was a race that was decided because a runner wasn't sure where Zelda was, took a death, and was put on the right path as a result.
Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes the game can work like that. As Thirwolf go ahead and is continuing to go through here with only the 1 heart, but now picks up both a fairy and a heart container, which he's going to, not necessarily put him on the path back to where he needs to go, but it at least does one thing, and that stops the beeping. So good news for Thirwolf is he's heading it back in the correct direction here, but he is going to go ahead and up A, and that's actually the best move here because that's going to be put him right on the path. All he has to do here is go left, and he is going to go ahead and come across himself a princess as he goes up here. So going to be super quick end to the seat here. This was a considering how this game started out, super friendly level 9.
And yes, that was the compass that Zelda was guarding. Quite the trolly move there, princess. And with that, that is a wrap for the race as Thirwolf finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, 34 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for our 2 racers.
Yeah, that is a fantastic set of times for both of our runners. Their first match, Thirwolf won with a 50, Crim had a 58. And this one, Crim winning with a 101, Thirwolf coming in with a 104. So both of these matches have been extremely close, decided by not a whole lot of time. So we will please let you know when Game 3 is, because that is going to be fantastic. You do not want to miss it.
That's going to be one I'm going to tune in for, assuming I'm not working, because that's a thing, unfortunately. But hey, if I'm around, that's definitely one I'm watching.
Yeah, absolutely. We take a look, see, and we will see if we've got an interview going on. But before we get that taken care of, again, just a reminder, coming up here at 7:30 Eastern Time here, that's going to be about 20 minutes from now, we're going to have Game 3 of Alsoa versus Sis Crusher coming up right here on Speed Gaming. And then we have 2 more races following that as well. It's JSR and Magic Friends, and then a Game 3 between Adirondack Rick and Boletta. So yeah, please stay tuned here right to twitch.tv/speedgaming, as there are all kinds of Zelda 1 randomizers coming at you tonight. And hey, Thirwolf, how's it going?
Oh, been better. How's it going, TG?
Going good. That was a seed.
Yeah. I died way too much. That's my fault.
Yeah. The overworld, not necessarily the worst overworld, but that Triforce room in level 7 was not treating you very nice at all.
No, level 7 in general was just mean to me. Yeah. It's a lot of backtracking. I appreciate the meat block, and the item wasn't even down there. It was behind that stupid Gleeok.
Has there ever been a non-stupid Gleeok?
Someday.
But today is not that day.
Did Crim go into 8 relatively early?
You two were actually in 8 at the exact same time, whereas you went right, he went down. So the last thing he found in 8 was the compass to bring him up there, but found the recorder right before that. You got the Triforce and got out of there, so he just spent more time digging 8.
Well, 8 was huge.
8 was huge.
And that's kind of why I saved it for last, just because, that map is huge.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And I saw that 7 map, and it's on the broadcast. I'm like, well, 8's going to be segmented. Get the map, 8's not segmented. What?
No, it's just a gigantic blob.
Yep.
Well, we'll have a Game 3 at some point. We haven't scheduled it yet. We'll get to that at some point.
And nothing more exciting than a Game 3.
Absolutely. I had one of those myself. It was very exciting. I've seen a few Game 3s, and it's always exciting. This race was definitely exciting for sure, so you guys definitely aren't going to want to miss Game 3 between these two, because, oh yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, thanks for the commentary, restream, and all that. Later.
All right, have a good one. And as we said here, we are going to be coming right back here. Well, not we. We'll have other people here, but Zelda 1 Randomizer is going to be coming right back here on Speed Gaming in about 20 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be game number 3 between Alsoa and Sis Crusher. So again, stay here, watch that, and we will be back with you here in about 20 minutes or so.
Well, I know what I'm sticking to for tonight. At least through the Game 3 fun.
All right, so as I said, on behalf of both Thirwolf and CrimsonAvix, our tracker behind the scenes at Gary and Old Wolf, and my broadcast partner Leslie Pro 04, I am TGE, reminding everybody to, of course, as always, keep hailing.
Always. Take care, guys.